Have you ever really stopped to think about what makes a great leader? You know, it's not just a title on an org chart or the corner office. It's more like architecture. It's something that you build, piece by piece, from the ground up. And just like any solid building, it all starts with the foundation. So let's start digging in. We've all had bosses, right? But have we all had leaders? That question right there gets to the very heart of what we're talking about today. I mean, we use those words interchangeably all the time, but as you're about to see, they are worlds apart. They're two fundamentally different ways of getting things done. Yeah, when you lay it all out like this, the difference just jumps right out at you. Management is all about systems, control, and doing things right. Leadership, on the other hand, is about inspiration, trust, and doing the right things. One is about managing what is, the other is about creating what could be. So where do we even begin this construction project? Well, it starts from the inside out. Long before you think about strategy or action plans, you have to build the foundation, a leader's inner core. General Norman Schwarzkopf absolutely nailed it with this quote. Strategy is important, of course it is, but it's completely useless or honestly even dangerous without a strong character to back it up. You can teach someone a strategy, but character, that's the bedrock. That is the non-negotiable part of leadership. So when you look at these four attributes, integrity, trustworthiness, self-reflection, ethics, what do they all boil down to? One word: trust. Without these, you just can't build the credibility you need for people to follow you. This is the solid ground that every single leader has to stand on. Okay, so our foundation of character is poured and solid. What's next? Well, now we need the blueprints. That inner core has to express itself somehow, and it does that through different leadership styles. First up, we've got the autocratic style. This is your classic command and control, my way or the highway approach. The leader makes the calls, period. Now, this can be super efficient, especially in a crisis when you need a decision made now. The big risk, though, you can totally alienate your team and kill any chance of creativity. And on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have the democratic style. Here, the leader is all about getting the group involved and hearing everyone out. This is fantastic for building team morale and coming up with some really creative solutions because everybody feels valued. The trade-off? Yeah, it's definitely not the fastest way to make a decision. Then there's the transactional leader. This style is pretty straightforward. It works on a really simple principle. If you do this, then you get that. It's all about rewards for good work and, well, consequences for poor work. It's super effective for keeping projects on track when the goals are crystal clear. And finally, the transformational leader. This is the visionary. This is the coach. They don't just hand out tasks. They inspire people to achieve more than they ever thought was possible. They do it by painting a compelling vision of the future and really investing in their team's growth. This is how you drive real, lasting change. So which of these styles do people actually prefer? Well, a fascinating study done at Guinness, Nigeria gave us a really clear answer. When employees were asked about that purely autocratic, top-down style, a massive 77% of them rejected it, flat out. But here's where it gets really interesting. Look at this contrast. While almost everyone said no thanks to being controlled, an even bigger majority, 83%, were in favor of the transactional style. So what does that tell us? It tells us that people don't want to be controlled, but they absolutely appreciate a clear, fair system where good work gets rewarded. So it's pretty clear, right? Each style has its time and place. Autocratic for a crisis, democratic for brainstorming. This proves a super important point. There is no single best style of leadership. And that brings us to the twist in our architectural plan, the situational leader. See, the most effective leaders, the master builders, they don't just pick one blueprint and stick to it no matter what. No, they adapt. They change their approach based on the project, the materials, and the team they're working with. This is the absolute core of situational leadership. True effectiveness isn't about having one style. It's about having a full toolbox and knowing exactly which tool to pull out for the right person, for the right task at the right time. In fact, a lot of leadership failures happen for one simple reason: using the wrong tool for the job. So how do you actually do it? Well, you can break it down into a pretty simple process. First, you assess your team member. Are they super skilled but just not motivated? Or maybe they're really enthusiastic but totally new to the task. Second, you choose your style. Do they need clear direction, coaching, support, or should you just delegate and get out of their way?
then you apply it. And finally, and this is key, you monitor and adjust as you go.
Okay, so we've poured the foundation of character. We've gone over the different blueprints. Now it's time to step back and look at the finished structure. What is the real-world, tangible impact that great leadership actually builds?
As General Omar Bradley said, the ultimate test of a leader is what their team achieves. You know, the finished building isn't a monument to the architect. It's judged by how well it serves the people who live and work inside it.
And the impact? It's undeniable. Great leadership isn't just some nice-to-have, fluffy concept. It directly leads to higher satisfaction, better performance, and more innovation. It makes a whole organization stronger, more resilient. It's the engine that drives real progress. This also shows us the flip side, the very real cost of getting it wrong. I mean, we've all heard this saying, right? People don't quit their jobs, they quit their bosses. That's the personal, real-world impact of poor leadership.
So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? Leadership isn't a box you check on a chart. It's a choice you make every single day. It's a structure you decide to build, starting with that strong inner foundation and bringing it to life through thoughtful, adaptive action.
Which leaves us with just one final question. You have the foundation, you have the blueprints. The only thing left to decide is, what kind of structure are you going to build? What kind of leader will you choose to be?